The Unreal Bridge plugin in Modo 12.2 has been updated to use our new scene transfer protocol. This allows for much more robust transfer of assets between Modo and Unreal Engine. To use it, all you have to do is come to Kits, open up our Unreal Bridge palette here, and tell it to start. Then hop on over into your project in Unreal Engine, and you need to add the Modo Bridge as a plugin from the Unreal Marketplace. You'll see an icon appear here at the top with a drop-down, allowing you to start your client. Now, since I want to duplicate that archway throughout this scene while I'm in Modo, it's probably a good idea for me to transfer some assets from Unreal Engine, so at least I know placement and scale. And I want to push selected, just that single ground plane. Then come back over to Modo. You can see that ground plane has come over. If I come over into shading and I take a look at the materials that have been transferred over to Modo, this is the actual ground plane material, and this is basically just a placeholder so that when it goes back into Unreal Engine, if I were to send it back, it would then pick up the materials that were already created for it in Unreal. All right, so I want to go ahead and select my archway and move this out along the edge and pull that on down so it crosses the surface a little bit. And then I want to go ahead and come on over here to duplicate and use an instance radial array since our bridge supports instances, and I think that's awesome. I also want to have an action center of origin and duplicate my archway throughout my scene. Now that I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the plane because I don't need that anymore. Come over to my item list. You can see that I actually have my original archway mesh and all the instances named accordingly. Now, in this case, just because I haven't done it yet, I'm going to go ahead and push the entire scene over, and I'm going to turn off lights and turn off cameras, and push all. Once I come back over to Unreal Engine, you can see that my assets have been populated and materials have been assigned. The new Unreal Bridge is up to 400% faster than the one in previous versions. You can see it does a great job of transferring those assets on over, which I think is pretty cool. Now, before we stop, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and come back over to Modo. I am going to create a new blank scene because I just want to illustrate some of the workflows bouncing back and forth. And if I wanted to, I could go ahead and select my archway here in the outliner. And you can see that all of these items have been named accordingly. That's another nice new feature in the Unreal Bridge as of 12.2. And I'm going to click on the Modo Bridge, and I want to push these selected items, all of them, back to Modo. You can see in Modo, I have my archway, and I have all the corresponding instances as well, which makes it much easier when your assets come back, not all as unique meshes, but as correctly instanced meshes. All right, so I'm going to select this archway, which it selected the right one, which is great. I'm going to go ahead and come here from the top. We don't have materials assigned, despite that in the shader tree, we do actually have a reference. This is a reference pointing back to Unreal so that Unreal can apply those materials correctly. And I'm going to come to deform, and I'm going to use the bend tool. I'm going to click right there for the bend tool. You know what? I'm going to come into a component mode before I do that. Get slightly better results, and I'm just going to do a very subtle bend right there and reverse that. There you go. And now what I want to do is I want to push all. And I'm going to come back, and as you can see, the Unreal Bridge has correctly replaced all the individual items and applied the deforms that I applied in Modo into the scene quickly and easily.